Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about the Mozart's E minor piano violin sonata, K.304. It was really difficult for me to choose what exactly to bring today for presentation because it's just so filled with interesting things, since the historic context to the form, to the way it's built, to the way of how we can make performance choices of it, of the ambiguity of the sonata, the uniqueness of it. So I'm going to try to walk you through it. So we will think analysis, ambiguity, and some performance choices. So a bit of history is that Mozart, at the moment of this sonata, he was facing a really rough time. He was no longer a child prodigy. He was in the age of that, you have to work, have to do a living. So his father was pressuring him to get famous and to get something. And at that time, he just forced him to do a tour. He went to Mannheim, where he was actually really happy because he fell in love with Aloysia who, at the end, his father forced him to leave. He was traveling in company with his mom. He travels to Paris, leaving behind this sensation that, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do, right? They arrive to a very important place. The mom is already around 57 years old. It was a very, very bad time for him. So the thing is that he was not doing anything, he wasn't getting richer, he wasn't getting famous, he was just at that really bad time. And on top of that, on the tour, the mom dies. So there is no certainty, we don't have any for fact that says, okay, this sonata was written because after her mom died. We do know that the second movement was written after her death, but we can relate, knowing this history, what he might be feeling, how bad he was feeling when he was writing the first movement. So I think it's important to know this because this gives us some light on to understand a couple of things, such as the E minor tonality, because this is the only violin sonata that has an E minor, a minor key. The E minor tonality in general in Mozart is really rarely seen, perhaps only 6 works of all his material are on that key. So has some meaning on it. Also the fact that the sonata has a homophonic texture. It's only done with 2 movements, which is not very far for the time, but it's worth mentioning. And also this sonata is also a little bit, we always try to call it piano and violin sonata because the piano has all the emphasis. And I'm actually going to play for you that a little bit how it sounds without violin. It just sustains for itself. You don't really need the violin. It's just at some point it's just ornamental. And well, when I was just going through the form, we're going to pass to that, the sonata form. And we already know that. We know the A, B, A prime form. This sonata in particular has a really small development. But what is, I think, interesting, and that's why I gave you these papers that you have in front, is not your typical score going from beginning to end and markings around. I just thought it was more good to juxtapose the information, like all the openings, the first subject, how many times it's appearing, what it changes, visually helps to see that many repetitions, which is also really unique. How every repetition of this material changes, maybe for some tiny reason, and it just changes the whole thing. How it's constructed rather than the form, if that makes any sense. What are these small tiny details that made it work so cohesively well and simplistic. So I want to say also about this word that when I was doing my research and I'm putting all these things together, and I realized that, well, this is Mozart. Everyone knows Mozart. Everyone knows Sonata form. Is there anything else from my behalf to say? Do I have any more saying? I did visit one article, really good one from a violinist called John Lester, that he reads through this term. from him. And I just noticed on the counter view that it got 25,000 visits already. So then I realized, okay, I'm facing 25,000 before me opinions about this, right? And it's amazing because until now I'm still learning with this and I'm trying to make you play things with that. How many years, how many people have done something and we still can get so many things out of this, right? For our own performance choices, for our own musical development, for our ear. It's amazing. So I was thinking that, so what should I do with this, right? So I wanted to really look at the first page, like the opening, the first subject. And I did write the numbers of repetitions that actually you can hear through. So you get the very beginning 2 times if you do the repeat, that is on the A, right? So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times the same, exactly the same opening material. Of course, it has some changes, but you can say that it behaves similarly. And I added the first subject on the development and also on the A prime, and when it changes key, which is a conclusive area of the beginning of the exposition. So you see, it's really genius. But I wanted to really focus just on the very beginning for purposes of today and time. I did put some harmony on brackets because if you just see, it's homophonic. So this is a question I would like to ask you. What do you do with that? How do you analyze that? What is there written? What do you do with that? There's not so much to say, you know? Like, we have everything linear. What would you hear as a first glance? Any thoughts? Because it's like empty, you know? Well, that was my sensation. So we get, I did put the Mandarin rocket displacement, which is something that he embodied and grabbed from his tool from the Mandarin to move to Paris. But I really wanted to see that the phrasing of this opening can be done really differently depending on what do you think is good to use as an analysis tool, or what do you might hear. I did find on this article that Joe Lester suggests that he's hearing 2 plus 4 plus 2. So it means 2 bars together, you make a small breath, 4 together, you make a small breath, and then 2 and you make a small breath. For me, it was not that case. I was actually thinking 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, like all of them in 2s, because that's what I was hearing. And then I realized, okay, perhaps through all of the readings that we have gone through, all of the performers have something valid, but we should be conscious of what we are doing, right, and why we are choosing what we are doing, right? Because it changes everything. So, if I go into the opening some certain way, right? So then I have to think, okay, if I'm going to do that, should I take a lot of air? How much I should wait for piano? Should the piano lead? You know, all of this information, right? So what I am trying to find out is this. Basically, I want to try to do my thing, but I want to have some justification on it, you know, not just because I feel that way and it makes sense to me, and you know, I just wanted to make some clarity on that, and to say, well, I'm not doing what he says because I hear something different. So that's what I call with ambiguity. And this is not the only place that we really have like one line. Mozart really smartly, really genius. At some point of this score, if you are really careful, you're going to be watching that there are arrivals to thirds. We don't get a fifth. So we are just left with idea of where we are going to. We just don't have that certainty. We just get the idea and some changes that immediately pass to something else, right? So that gives a lot of space rather than put you on the string that, okay, this is Mozart Sonata form, we do this way, you know, the square, the good old school, the traditional old school. So how do we break through that? Maybe this is a good door also to make something new that can be a successful presentation as well. So I'm going to play, if possible, yeah, the piano part only, just a little bit, so you can feel that violin is just extra. It sustains by itself. Like something haunting, you know, it's repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating, and what do we do with that many repetitions? So that's something that I wanted to bring out for today, you know. What do we do with these sorts of beginnings? Is it right or wrong what we're going to be choosing to do? Based on what, right? So now I know this is not practical score, I'm going to put you the violin version because I was trying to play with that, but the placing is not so good. But I did find one interpretation that I like, and after I decided that I can do things that are not maybe commonly preferred, or I can get more of these, I did start listening some recordings, and I was immediately like, oh, you know, I don't like this recording. Oh no, I'm not going to follow that. So it happens, right? When you get so much in depth, excessive vibrato or excessive back timbre, excessive speed, things like that just, you know, make you think of so many things. So I wanted to just, if possible, listen to the Sonata is around 4 minutes of time, but we will see if we can make it, just so you get the idea why I put these, just suppose these parts. then sort of loses the point of the beginning. The beginning has so much ambiguity, and it's really free for that reason, because at that point we don't know what we're going to listen to. So I have seen that they do play the same harmony that goes afterwards on maybe the second beat, third beat, but actually they behave sort of similar, but they are not the same thing. So maybe because of the history, the unique mood that he was trying, the key, like all of these facts, this opening, it's really deep. It should be taken care of, like really to choose which type of vibrato, where you're gonna take a breath, how long is your note gonna really be, because we have the thing with piano that I never saw when I'm talking really about is that piano decays. Violin doesn't, you know, like piano and the song is going to fade somehow, even if you put pedals, the decay is gonna happen, right? So I think that the reason it's an unison is because it's sort of a unity between the piano and violin, right? So it should somehow blend on a way that is also the length blends that much well. The violin cannot be da 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 and the piano decays. That kind of loses the point, right? But no one, I haven't really find that someone actually wrote, we should have the same line, we should beat these things. So I thought that was something interesting, and I did try to make it with that as a question if someone wants to answer. But it's mostly like for you to think, because I think that kind of also the purpose of this seminar, that not only to know where are we harmonically or counterpoint or motives and all of these things that are really good, but on this level that we already know Sonata form or these things or some of that, like maybe to put the extra edge, like, okay, we're gonna try to step one more step ahead. So I hope that have been useful or good, and if there is any questions, then thank you.
Can you talk a little bit more about how this person states that it should be, everything should work?
Oh yeah, because the harmony that he is listening is not the same one I just wrote. So, and even I wrote that, I'm still convinced if that's going to work that way, because of the same reason, like, okay, we can do that line, of course it's E minor, but afterwards it's what happens around 1 or 3, right? So he does put other things there, so he wants to make those 4 bars that are on the middle one unit, but I think kind of loses the purpose of what I just said, that if I'm going to think them like a 4 unit, like, just because of the harmony, I think it's going to lose that thing of blend, and it's sort of cut out. I know that 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 also is kind of basic, but because of the homophonic, the really sad nature of this opening, uncertainty and all that, I just don't feel that for. I know it's because of the harmony that he listens, and I know that makes sense, but I don't know if that's something I would like to pursue because of the other reasons behind it, not only because of harmony. It makes sense that he says, okay, we're gonna think I don't see that. That's why I mentioned that on the play.
Wait for that, but I was thinking, it's good to agree on that maybe the beginning is around, and then something happens, like it moves around, and then around, so it's like beginning something happening, and then just closing that.
Yes, as I said, it's because the way it's written, it gives a lot of room to talk for ages, I wanna do that, I wanna do this, but I think it's also important that why are we going to do this, because we can do anything, but why? Why would I do that, or why I wouldn't do that, right? I think that's also the point, because we have heard this thousands of times. You can just put that on YouTube and find recordings of all the levels, since beginners to experts to professionals do everything, and all of the performances change. All of them are so different. So great.
You were talking about the decay of the piano and the violin and so forth. Did you look at any resources, or did you yourself consider the difference in kind of modern instruments or superior instruments, like for instance?
This is another consideration. Yeah, I was also thinking that because this is not the instrument from that time, that also makes sense. You know that now people kind of moving to I have heard really romantic recordings of this sonata, which are not classical, like you can hear like the and all that. And I was thinking that way also, because at that time that wouldn't have been the case. You know, the instrument was not gonna be that bright or that you know that difference. I didn't consider this.
Yeah, I think that's interesting because you talk about the piano and the violin playing similar lines sometimes. But the piano is a song.
And also the piano is not even the same one.
Yeah,
It was smaller, you know.
You said that it's like a piano and violin sonata because the piano part fits kind of on its own. Is there a reason for it? Like, was it a commission or?
No, it's just that time I read that Mozart did write 6 duets. He was actually intending this to be a duet, like a sonata for violin and piano, but it just tended to change because this is one of the sonatas that have a problem with edition. So through time, you can also search that on IMDb. You find a lot of editions full of extra things that he didn't write, extra for the piano, crescendo, things that were not originally from him, or what we believe that's original because time has done a lot. So actually, these I tried to look for Urtext, which I find that it's the most basic or loyal to what he wrote. And yeah, so these are duets for violin and piano. Sorry, for piano and violin. Not only for any particular reason, just something that he was not envisioning. Like, okay, this is the violin and piano. It's just I'm doing a comparison. He was trying to place them in the same place.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were talking about before, and sorry, I was to ask about where you're seeking the phrases, you know, talking about 2 versus 2 and 4 in there, etc. I'm not just curious, like, as you're playing, are these things that are like influencing your interpretation, like in the spur of the moment, so to speak, or are you thinking of these like formal divisions as you're playing, or are you kind of like analyzing it, deciding what you're going to do, and then just kind of memorizing your decisions?
This is actually bringing a lot of light of organizing things, how I don't want the same things to sound maybe, I don't want it to sound boring, like always the same things, but I also don't want it to be that much far away because they belong from the same content. This is something really from my personal performance side. I do have a view of how to play this. My professor doesn't. So it's been like, I can't do this, professor, because look, you know, and tradition, tradition. So that's kind of what I want. That's it.
Thank you.